All right, the conclusion, like the introduction, has two parts, but these two parts are simpler than the introduction's two parts. And the Roman numerals that go with this is going to depend on how many main points you have, because you're just going to follow with whatever Roman numeral comes next. And, so it just is going to depend on how many main points you have with what the Roman numeral might end up being. These have to go in this order. The summary has to come before the concluding device. You can't end your speech and then give us this. You ended it. You don't go back and pick something up after you've ended it. So this has to come before this. The summary is the first half of the conclusion where the speaker briefly reiterates or reviews the main points of the speech. There's another slide showing there that says it. Tell them what you told them. It's just reminding us what the main points were, what the highlighted thoughts from the speech were. Here's an example. Today you have learned A, what asthma is, B, what causes asthma, C, the symptoms of asthma, and D, how to treat asthma. What you reckon the topic of this speech was? Asthma. Oh, yeah. Yeah. So whatever your main points were, you just remind us. Today we have learned this, that, and the other. You remind us what they were. It's kind of a mirror image, but not exactly. It can be a little different, but it's kind of a reflection of the preview. Let's go back up to the preview here, if I can find it. The statement that identifies and highlights the main points to be discussed, that tell them what you're going to tell them, is going to look a lot like the tell them what you told them. It's just one comes before the body of the speech and one comes after the body of the speech. Okay? I'll show you here real quick. Madison Hagler sample, his preview. You will learn what a set piece is, how inductions induce the hypnotic trance, the power of suggestion, and even the proper way to wake up the subject. That's the preview. Now let's look at his summary. You've learned what a set piece is, what a rapid induction looks like, how suggestions are used, and even how to bring someone back to reality in a positive way. Pretty much what he said he was going to do up here, he's reminded us that he did do down here. Are you with me? All right. So the summary just tells us what you've told us. Let's get back to it. Tell us what you've told us. Go back over the main points that were highlighted in the body of the speech, then end it. And because this was converted from PowerPoint to a Canvas slideshow, it's all wonky, and I apologize. I really don't know what to do about that. But the second half of the conclusion is where the speaker reinforces the central idea of the speech and makes a planned closing statement. Have it planned ahead of time what you're going to say to end your speech. Just like the introduction, the attention getter, you're supposed to write it out, what you're going to say to start it. Write out what you're going to say to end it. And make it nice and short and to the point. All right? Don't go on, and we'll talk about that in a second. But here's an example. I hope now, whether you have asthma yourself or know someone who does, you'll be better prepared for how to deal with it. And it just ends the speech, lets us know you're done. You can end with a quotation, make a dramatic statement, finish a story that was begun in the introduction, whatever you want to do. If it works, if it helps, if it ends your speech well, do that thing. It's fine. Look for possible concluding materials as you do your research. You might run across a story or a quote or something that would be good to end it with. Conclude with a bang, not a whimper. Don't just peter out, Give us something to remember and make a strong ending. Be brief. Be brief. It seems like I take y'all to church an awful lot for my examples, and if I haven't done that yet, I will. So, who's been to church? Y'all been to church? Okay. This usually happens at my church when we have a special speaker, somebody who's not used to us, right? And they just keep going. And we're used to getting out at 12, and it's 12, and why are you still talking? We do that, right? We want to know, why aren't you done yet? So be done. If you're ending the speech, don't ramble on and on. Don't add a bunch of stuff. Don't keep on talking and saying, but wait, there's more. But wait, what about the, just end it. Just come to the end and end it. Don't ramble. Be brief. Work out the content and delivery of your conclusion in detail. Again, practice, practice, practice. How are you going to end it? Don't add anything to what you have planned. What you have planned is what you do. Don't add. All right? Don't introduce new material. If certain material was supposed to be in certain points and you forgot about it until you got to the end, it's too late. All right? You should have used it where it went. Don't add it onto the end of your speech. It just messes the whole thing up. Do what you have planned. It is too late in the conclusion to bring up material that belongs in the body. A lot of people forget their visual aid. And then they get to the very end and go, oh, here's our visual aid. And they click through all these slides. And you should have done that with the points they support, not at the end. What else? Come on. Once you have uttered the final words of your planned concluding device or statement, stop talking. Don't keep going. Most people don't have a problem stopping, right? They're relieved that they're at the end of their speech. But every now and then, there'll be somebody who just can't stop. They keep having thoughts, and they're just telling us more, and then they're telling us more. Stop talking. When you get to your final planned sentence, you're done. Pick up your stuff, walk quietly back to your seat, let the next speaker take the floor in peace. Don't have a breakdown in front of the room. You can do that out there, and some people have. As soon as they're finished, they pack their stuff up and they go out there and they throw up, or they have to get some water, or they have to sit down and quit shaking or something. That's fine. But keep it together until you're out of the way of your audience. Don't break down in front of your audience. Don't slump over the podium and make a big dramatic deal about, oh, that was so hard, you guys. I had no idea it was going to be so hard. All right, fine. Thank you for that dramatic display of nerves. We don't need to know that you had a hard time, okay? You're just messing it up. Be classy. Keep your poise. And just go sit down. Or go to the hall and deal. If you're really tore up and that's what you need, that's okay. Do what you need to do, but don't do it at the front of the room. Take it outside. Don't laugh and act silly all the way back to your seat. A lot of people, they feel like, oh, the spotlight's still on me, so I have to act weird. Sometimes that's hard for those of us who are awkward, and I am the most awkward person, all right? I have no social graces, right? I've had to learn a lot, and I can fake it pretty well now. But don't draw attention to yourself. If you're finished, you're finished. Don't draw attention. Sometimes it's hard. Just breathe. Blink a little. Take a swallow. Bring something to drink so that you can, get your mouth back where it needs to be and sit down. Don't end with, that's it. Because if you stop talking, we know you're done. You don't have to tell us you're done. You're finished. You're walking back to your seat. You don't have to announce, that's all I got. Okay, go back to your seat and we're going to get that clue without you having to announce it. Plan and use an effective closing device that lets the audience know that you've said all you mean to say. Shut your mouth and go sit, and we'll know. And you don't have to tell us that's it. There's no need to say thank you at the end of a classroom speech, but it's nice. And most of us just want to be polite, so we say thank you, but you don't have to, and I won't be mad if you don't. All right? Outside of class, if you've been invited somewhere and it's a special event and they chose you, of course you thank your audience. But for a classroom speech, you do not have to do that. All right, take a break.